have to like go through all the links. Whereas like an Android, you just go back.
You just go back on iPad.
No,
It's a swipe gesture, Jay. iPads aren't that complicated.
they are.
They're not.
I hate them.
They're really not that hard.
I think they should all be burned.
Okay. Cool. Have you got that yet? We got a chat now?
Yeah, there's no fan funding. So
No fan funding, so he puts it down. There you go. That's what he cares about. He changes the stream straight away to fan funding chat, and if he doesn't see anything, he's off. He's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Go home.
Good afternoon, you wonderful human beings. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine Tuesday afternoon. We got some sunshine outside. What's this nonsense?
Yeah, it's all right actually, isn't it?
It's not too bad. So it is a fine Tuesday afternoon, and actually it's been a great start to the week already if you're a 40k fan. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical YouTube buttons. First, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Smash subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that button notification icon if you want to be notified whenever we go live in the future. There was a big announcement yesterday, Jay, which honestly I didn't expect.
No?
No. The orc claw doesn't belong to an orc.
I had an inkling.
Really?
I was like, that's too small to be
Have you heard that before?
an orc. Yeah. I was like, the next book's going to be called Armageddon. The box set's going to be Armageddon. If you can't have Armageddon without Yarrick. And as Games Workshop said, that Commissar Yarrick is basically the third orc god.
Well, the story was always that they believed he couldn't die.
Yeah.
And so that meant that he couldn't die.
Yeah. You just can't die.
Because if the orcs believe something strong enough, it happens.
So basically, he is a god.
Well, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
He's now like a half machine god.
But I suppose if you get shot, he'll just heal because he can't die.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised. I think the model is fucking gorgeous. I think it's it's done an amazing job. They've aged him well.
It's a real good hint at the last one. It's more of a resculpt of the previous one, but it's just done really nicely.
Yeah, I agree. So Yarrick Returns. If you haven't seen it already, Yarrick Returns. It was on yesterday's Warcom pages. They put a big article up about it that showcased a brand new miniature. I think it comes hand in hand with a Warhammer Plus animation, which I haven't watched because who does? But,
I mean, the trailer they put out was really good.
So Yarrick's back. The model, if you haven't seen it, check out Warcom. The model is utterly fucking beautiful, I think, personally anyway. But this is interesting for a couple of reasons, I think, which is why it's a stream topic. And I'd love to know what you guys think. If you want to support the show today, please feel free to stick any comments you have on a super chat. YouTube calls it a super chat. We hate that phrase. We call it postcards because they're big, bright, and colourful. We have to pay to send them. So stick it on a postcard for us. Tell us what you think about anything. You can ask us questions as well. It doesn't even have to be related to the stream. You can ask us any questions you want. Equally, if you're not already, you can become a member of the channel. Or if you want to gift memberships, you can do that as well and give other people extra access to spaces in Discord. A caveat, or not a caveat, sorry, but a notice. Discord's been a bit screwy lately. It fucking full on broke. So I had to completely remove the integration and rebuild it. And Gaz, I don't know if he's in chat at the moment, has been helping me, making sure the right roles can see the right categories, etc., etc., etc. So things are changing in Discord. We're fixing it all. It will be done in time. I'm time poor at the moment, so Gaz has been helping. So please be patient with us. We'll get there. But yeah, you get to give people extra access to Discord, like, Joe, Luke Pinewalker, who's gifted 5 of the finest memberships.
Thank you. I hope that whenever there's a diversion for your travel, it's like really simple and they've registered it with like all the map apps. So it's easy to just like boop boop. Actually, the diversion's quicker because I'm in a mood today because there was a road closure on the way here and obviously it hadn't been logged anywhere. So the map was constantly trying to direct me onto that. So I go like a massive detour, come back to the main road, and then they'd be like road closed. So I had to go back around. It took me about an extra like 40 minutes to get here today.
Extra 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's not nice.
Fuming.
That's a good hope then if that's Joe's experience. Yeah. Purple Spectre also gifted 5 memberships, JJ Beans.
I hope, Purple Spectre, that next time you get a late night McDonald's drive-through, it's free because their card machine's broken. So you put your order in, you go to the thing to pay, and they're like, "Oh, it's not working."
Just have it for free.
Just have it
with extra chicken nuggets because we cooked too many. Strong. Thank you, Mailcat, for the one gifted. We're on 11 members already, chat. Thank you so much. So I have torn feelings about this because historically, if Games Workshop wanted to replace a sculpt, they just released a new sculpt, right? Look at Calgar.
Yeah.
They just released a new sculpt. Here's a new sculpt. He replaces the old sculpt. There you go. Job's good in. This is a rare occasion. It has happened in the past, but this is a rare occasion where they've actually just flat killed him off. He's not officially dead. They kind of leaned into the narrative a little bit, right? But killed him off. And now they've brought him back 2 years later, 2.5 years later.
So the problem is he was killed off by Warcom, who, in my opinion, are a rudderless herd of cats, really, with no real concept of what's happening inside Games Workshop quite often.
Yeah.
And like those guys, they shoot from the hip. Those guys, no real thinking or concept. They're just like, oh yeah, like Lionel Johnson, like he just wants to be blue now.
Yeah. Or guess what? You definitely get UK Games Expo tickets. Why not?
Yeah. Or like it's October, but we'll release everything in September and have no orcs in October kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just insane stuff like that. Or just the classic was always been that way.
Mm-hmm. Of course, good old Warcom.
Like it hasn't. Like they're just kind of like the moody intern that doesn't care if they get fired.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And for someone like Yarrick, right? The reason why I'm torn is because as a kid, Yarrick was very prevalent. He was very prevalent in the narrative. The last two models, I think I've owned both of them at some point in Pewter, in metal. And so, for my nostalgia, I think having Yarrick in the game, I'm here for it. I think he should be in the game. That being said, how fucking old must he be now as a human in the 41st millennium?
Well, like...
And I kind of... There's a little part of me, and I do I think they killed him off? I don't know. Because they never strictly actually said he's dead, did they?
They did.
Did they?
There was like a notice like they created to say that he died.
I thought they didn't actually say he died though. I thought it was worded
it's
in,
kind of
like it inferred, but it didn't actually say.
Captain Akaran from Space Marine 2, who didn't get a model in the new title stuff, just died off screen. They're like, oh yeah, he went into like a
he did, but like no one cares about that side character. And what the reason why I'm a bit torn about it, because I actually don't think that they strictly said he is dead. I think they inferred, but they said he was dead, right? Which is interesting. So bringing him back, they kind of left it open that they could. They probably knew he was coming. Let's face it, he's probably developed years ago, right? Probably even before they released the Codex where he wasn't in it anymore. They probably knew what was happening even back then. And so bringing him back this way is kind of cool, and I'm kind of into it. On the flip side, characters being able to perish, I think, is quite important to our specific universe.
Yeah, but the problem they've got right at the moment, which annoys a lot of people, is how they're removing characters from the game. Like 2 prime suspects, Gabriel Seth.
Yeah, and I wandered along 10 minutes chat.
Actually 3 prime suspects: Seth, Badruk, Uran Rakoff.
What about also Kaladar Drago?
Kaladar Drago, Karandras, right?
There's a few in there when you think about it.
They've all been removed from their codex because they're a Finecast model. Didn't receive a replacement when their book came out, but all feature heavily in the codex that they were removed from. So there's an entire section about Flesh Terrors and Seth, and he's on a crusade with Dante. Drago's got a bit how he's kind of like, he's still fighting. Badruk's still floating around in his orc like pirate spaceships. Karandras's example was, he's gone off looking for something.
Yeah,
he's busy.
He's a bit busy today.
He's in the back room, He's going to be there for a while.
At least the 3 or 4 units of the new codex.
Ewan Rakarth, there's a whole 3 pages of lore about him.
In the Drukhari book.
In the Drukhari book.
Yeah.
Gone. And it's just like they haven't killed them. They haven't said a new model's coming.
No, quite.
Kind of thing. But I think Yarrick's the exception to the law because they said he was dead. Someone said the Warcom article was the bell of lost souls rang for him, which is just Warhammer speak for he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's they've actually just brought him back to life. Obviously, hopefully, we'll get a book or there'll be a section in the Armageddon bit to say where he's been and what he's been up to.
Yeah.
The only character that's fully come back from the dead is Eldrad.
Yeah, but I say Eldrad. I was talking to Toby earlier in the gym. Eldrad is the one that I think of with the actual return from the dead.
Because he got killed in the Eye of Terror campaign, which is 5th, 6th edition. I can't remember. I think it was 6th edition. And then they just full retconned him to bring him back to life again. Because they needed him as a bit of a kind of MacGuffin.
MacGuffin.
Yeah.
I mean, again, personally, I was quite happy they brought Eldrad back because Eldrad's one of my favourite characters in Eldar lore. I quite like Eldrad. I love his interaction with Jane's art in the book. Jane's art, it's fucking brilliant. But there is a few that times this happened. The thing is, I don't know if I prefer there being a gap between, we've just removed it from the codex, especially when they're old metal or fine cast models.
Yeah.
And then, cool, we've brought them back now and here's this beautiful new sculpt. So if you think about it, I don't know if you guys know this, right? I'm going to say it anyway. Some of you are going to be shocked. Some of you are going to be upset. Some of you might cry, right? Joe sold his flesh terrors. Yeah. Because since they got rid of Seth, he was like, it's not the same.
Just don't care.
I don't care about them anymore. Because Seth was the character that Joe loved so much.
I have no real love for Blood Angels. They're a cool chapter, and I like the lore and stuff, but I don't like them. I like Seth.
I'd struggle if they removed Jane's off from the album.
Yeah, for me at the moment, Grimaldus has kind of replaced Seth. She's also just really angry.
Just a big Giga Chad, yeah.
Yeah, he just hates him. He's got kind eyes. I'm listening to Hell's Reach at the moment again. And everyone's like, oh, he's got such kind eyes.
Yeah, so Joe did sell his flesh terrors. But we do have access to Paddy's Blood Angels, so we still have Blood Angels on the channel.
I did say, though...
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? I'm going to get onto it. Yeah. What did you say to me when we talked about what happens if they release a new sculpt of Seth?
I'll just do a new army.
Just new Flesh Terrors army.
Yeah.
But then for a lot of people... if they sold the army because their favourite character went, and then 3 years later Games Workshop bought the character back, for a lot of people, would they then build that army again? Would they be like, you fucking pack of arseholes?
Nah. Because I liked my Flesh Terrors. I loved them a lot. But because I smashed them out so quickly, I wasn't wholly happy with the paint scheme I did.
Oh, they were great. Okay.
And that was in my I'm going to start doing oil washes phase because everyone was doing oil washes, so I'll give it a go. And I wasn't quite happy with the finish. And then the Flesh Terrors I was adding to it afterwards, I was much happier with. So it was just a case of I wasn't quite happy with the basing. So I want to do this army again anyway. So I might as well just wait for them to re-release. Because I reckon if we get Seth again, we're going to get New Death Company.
You reckon?
They're going.
Why would they go hand
1,000,000% there is going to be a Death Company box set release. I would put hard money on a Death Company box set release.
Would you?
Yeah. If I had any money, if I had 2 coins to rub together.
You could put a monthly wage on it.
Nah.
If you win, you get 2 monthly wages at once.
What if I lose?
If you get monthly wage that month.
Yeah, it's just shit. It's just shit.
But you just said 1,000,000%, right? So you're so certain.
No. because you're like an insurance company. You just find a way not to pay out. So I think the Flesh Tearers, there'll be Seth and Death Company, because Death Company is synonymous with Flesh Tearers.
Isn't that sort of similar to people buying an entire army with models they love to only have Warhammer remove those models in the next edition? Would you keep playing them or go no? I mean, I've had it, and I, for the most part, kept playing them, but it's also a huge feels bad. It's a huge feels bad when they go, here's all these brand new plastic heresy kits that you can definitely use in 40k. Oh, there's a new edition of 40k. Can't use them anymore. Now we've sold them all to you. Can't use them anymore.
Yeah. I just think...
huge feels bad.
Yeah.
I think this about I mean, so Yarrick, I don't know if anybody will have got rid of their guard army because Yarrick doesn't exist anymore in the same way that you got rid of Flesh Tearers because there's no Seth, right? Because guard have got other characters and what have you, and guard aren't specific. Like Yarrick specifically isn't specific to a regiment. He can turn up anywhere.
Like Yarrick,
he can join Valhalla.
He's a floater, isn't he?
Right, exactly.
Being whatever. Because I saw that Yarrick kit, and I was like, I still want to do my Death Corps of Krieg, and he would work really, really well in them. If you look at that trailer, right, he worked really well in them. But at the same time, I'm like, I could just build him, paint him, give him a snowy base, bang him straight in the Valhalla's done.
Exactly.
Just have him, right?
So he's a bit more flexible than like a Seth, right? Because Seth can't just go into
Seth
Ultramarines.
is the chapter master,
right? Exactly.
He is the leader.
So in that regard, I don't think people will have gone out and got rid of their whole army because Yarrick wasn't in the codex. Maybe some people have. Maybe you guys can tell me. I just don't think people would over Yarrick. I kind of get it more over Seth, I guess. But then if anyone's done anything like that, or even like people have got their old, I know some people have got their old models and gone, well, he's not in the book anymore. I'll sell the model or I'll bin it or whatever. And now they're going, oh, by the way, Yarrick's back. Some people will have gone, well, I had a lovely painted Yarrick that I could just use now. And now I can't. And Games Workshop are going, haha, you've got to buy the new one. So is this... My question is, what do you think? Do you think this is a sales tactic? Do you think this is maximised revenue from selling new Yarricks? That's why they kill him off, get rid of him for 3 years, then bring him back? Or is this just, this is how it's worked? There's no actual malice there.
I think, right, I know I'm talking to the internet at the moment.
Yeah.
Is that I think if you're upset or surprised by him going and then coming back, then you're devoid of common sense within the realms of 10th edition, right? Because 10th edition is an edition consumed by loss, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But it's
almost like they've used it as a bit of a hard reset.
And it is, right? They've gone... Like, the problem was, the 10th edition should have been their anniversary edition where all the good things happened. All the stuff that's coming out now should have come out at the start of the edition. But Games Workshop kind of looked at the last 3 years as, right, this is the edition where we clean house of Finecast.
Yeah, which I'm fully supportive of,
gone,
by the way.
It's going. Everything that got removed from the books that was Finecast is going to be replaced in plastic, and that's going to be the next edition releases. Because if you're a company and you're thinking about longevity, you have to think about releases, right? And you go, we have to keep them buying? What can we sell? Mm-hmm. And if you bang it all together in one release, then they're not going to buy stuff for that in the future. That's why the World Eaters releases have been so terrible. That's why the Emperor's Children got a lot, but not loads. Kind of thing. They've got a little, not a lot. Like Jenny from the Block. Right? And then there'll be more Emperor's Children released. So they go, we'll get rid of Yarrick now, and then we can sell Yarrick again in a couple of years' time. That's a box that we can give them. Kind of thing. And I think it's a sales tactic, but it's how to... If you, like... I also think the people that are upset by it have never played trading card games. Magic the Gathering is like a real... Magic the Gathering over the last 20 years has resold the same cards 100 times. They just change the artwork and they change the board, and it might get like a new flavor text, but it's still the same 1 mana blue card. They just put it in a new block. And also like I think this is a skill I've learned throughout my entire life, right? That helps, like...
Joe's life wisdom coming up here, chat.
Right. I think it helps me stave off sheer manic depression as well.
Okay.
Right?
It's a peak tip, this, clearly.
Right, is that I've learned to just accept the situation as it is, and that's just my life now, kind of thing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, like
I get it. That's
you're
fine.
like, I've lost my so for instance, like I've lost my job, and you're like, it's pretty shit.
Yep.
I've lost my job, and that's shit. I can't change that. So what do I do now?
Yeah,
And you go and you go. I'll go find a new job, and I've got a new job. This is my life now, and I think like. And you put it towards many things in life. You go to the shops and you want steak, but there's no steak, and you're like, guess I'm having fish for dinner now, kind of thing. It's relevant to big things and small things. And it's like Seth's gone. That's pretty shit. I can either be upset about it.
He was.
I was. But then it's like, I can't be upset about this forever.
No, quite.
So I either try and play Blood Angels, which I did, and I was like, but I'm not enjoying it. It's not the same. So I can continue to be sad playing Blood Angels, or I find something else that makes me happy within that realm.
Fills that void.
I did Dark Angels for a while, and I've landed on Templars and Imperial Fists, and I'm having a great time. So I think, like, when you go, like Badruck went away for Tom, and Tom was really upset about that.
Was he?
Because Badruck's his favourite orc character.
Is it? I didn't know that.
But he was like, I'll just do something else.
Yeah.
He's played a lot of World years. You know, he wasn't having fun with Custos, and they're boring. Play something else. And I think that's like what I've learned in life is like when stuff in Warhammer goes away, I'm like, I am annoyed. And my favourite phrase at the moment is like, my mum didn't raise a quitter. She raised a moaner.
A what?
A quitter.
All right.
You know?
A quitter. Okay, I misheard that then for a second.
She didn't raise a quitter.
No.
She raised a moaner.
Yeah.
I will do the job, but I will complain when I do it. You know? So... And I'll do that job well, but I'll still complain. But and I think, like, it is okay to be annoyed about stuff, and it is okay to vent, but eventually we do have to move on.
We do have to. You are right. I just don't. I don't know if they have, having dealt with them both as a creator and now as a stockist. I don't know if they genuinely have the foresight to. If we do this, everybody will do this, and then we'll sell more in 3 years' time. I don't think that's the case.
No.
I think, and this is genuine now. I saw some of this pretty much aligns with what you've said. I think they've basically had a deadline to cut out all the shit models.
Yeah.
And they've gone, well, some of them we've replaced in time, some of them we haven't. So we're just going to cut out all the shit ones.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, you know, metal, fine cast, etc.
I do think 11th. So what's weird, right, is that first edition of Warhammer, Rogue Trader, was never really the first edition of Warhammer.
Because it was a very different game.
It's a very different game. What referred to as second edition is actually the first edition of Warhammer that kind of spawned what Warhammer is today. Like Space Marines move 6, they have a 3-up save, they are toughness 4. The foundations were laid then. So technically, 11th edition is 10th edition. But everyone calls it 11th edition because they count Rogue Trader as the first. But I think 11th edition, personally, is going to be the best edition of Warhammer we've ever had.
I'm hoping.
I will die on that hill.
I'm hoping. Do you think this opens the door for them to bring back anybody who's died?
Yeah.
Do you?
At the end of the day,
Ferrus Manus.
It's Games Workshop's law, right? And they could bring Ferrus Manus back, right? Because one of the great things about Age of Sigmar is that it's new. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. And I think the 40k team is learning.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
yeah, I think they are.
Because the guardians of the law in Games Workshop, the 40k side, they're like, this is our established stuff, this is what can happen. I think they're kind of waking up to what the Age of Sigmar team is doing, is going like, well, you can do anything, and as long as you can come up with a plausible excuse for why it's happening, that's how.
Yeah.
That is it. That's
It'll be
your law.
accepted,
You've done it,
yeah.
right? Like so. They could go. Ferris Manus has come back now. We had his stuff. Belisar is cool, or Fabius Bile cloned him, and then he escaped from the cloning place and he's rejoined his adopted sons. Boom, Ferris Manus. You know, obviously I just made it up on the spot. Games Workshop could flesh that out a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, they probably would have to flesh it out.
It's
quite
better
a lot.
than it's always been that way.
I mean, there's not a lot of things that are worse than that, Joe. Let's be honest.
Honest to God. There's nothing. There's never been a phrase. My most hated phrase in life has always been "we'll see." There's nothing more non-committal and blood boiling than the phrase "we'll see."
I say it a lot to the kids.
Yeah, I hate. Yeah, because it's a phrase you say to children.
Yeah, of course it is.
Right, because it's like because you know it's not going to happen, and they want it to happen.
Not always. Not always.
But
To be
the
fair.
phrase "we'll see" is open-ended enough for you to make an excuse for why it didn't happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's always a definite no, but it's when I'm like, there's definitely a chance there being a no.
Yeah, and you're on the way to pissing me off today, so probably going to be a no. But it's like,
you know my kids.
I know children. So it's like, we'll see. But the phrase "it's always been that way" immediately that day just replaced "we'll see."
Yeah,
That's
it wasn't good, was it? Let's be honest, from the team.
But like, there is law in place for them to bring back Sanguinius. The foundation is there that they can do.
I see. I mean, there is law in place because if you read the Blood Angels omnibus, they believe that he'll be reincarnated through one of the Blood Angels.
Yeah,
and that's what essentially the Sanguinor is.
Mephiston literally had a conversation with him.
Yeah, so there's narrative laid for it.
Yeah,
because I think my personal opinion, we've spoken about this before. We'll talk about it again. But my personal opinion is that Primarch models in 40k, the plastic kits. Yeah. My theory is, or my feeling is, they make them far too much money.
So, I was saying, Awful Gamer says E.G. Gaunt must be dead in the canon by now. He isn't. The reason why characters last forever in 40k is the warp, and that's why Games Workshop can never get rid of demons. Because of warp exists.
Well, the reson why he put the EG is because he said, I don't mind having characters back as minis to play, but maybe not lore-wise. And that begs another question. Like, do you think there's a world where the 40k narrative progresses and Calgar gets killed?
Yeah.
For the sake of argument, right? So, do you think there's a world where Games Workshop could quite categorically go, well, he's dead in the narrative, he's actually died, so the people that are following the narrative, because some people just follow the narrative, they're getting progression, they're getting the risk of main characters being able to perish. However, we're still going to create a miniature for him and we're still going to give you rules. I don't know why miniatures available to us has to directly correlate to characters that exist in the universe at this very point in time in the narrative. Because it doesn't happen in Heresy, because Iron Hands players in Heresy can still play with Ferris Manus before he got his head lopped off.
Yeah. I think,
and I feel like, for me, I think that should be the way we approach 40k. I'm invested in the 40k narrative. I love it. I want there to be some risk and some jeopardy, and I want there to be risk to be characters.
I don't think they can do it, because the difference between 40k and Horus Heresy, and I hate this phrase, but it is true, is that Horus Heresy is technically a historicals game.
In essence, it is.
It's something that has already happened in our future, but in the realms of 40, because 40k is the now.
Yeah,
the law is present day, right? Whereas Horus Heresy is the past. So it's technically a historicals game, so you can replay any event from the past. But that's why in 40k we have legends. And that's why Games Workshop can release limited edition sculpts of characters and give them Legends rules. So Seth has Legend rules, so you can technically run him, but he's just not about at the moment. There are Legends rules for Karandras as well, I think. But what's weird is in 7th edition, before they moved the narrative on, the game was kind of played in a 5 minutes to midnight scenario where everything was happening within a 500-year window. So you had things like the D99, the Elysian Drop Troopers, one of my favourite guard regiments ever. A massive army of them. And they were released in the Amphibian Project book, which I've mentioned many times. My favourite book ever, released from Forge World. They all died at the end. Right? But Games Workshop released entire armies worth of models because they weren't, that regiment there weren't the only Elysians, but all Elysians had been killed off by Tyranids, but they were still an available army to do. So they were kind of like Cadians in a sense. They didn't have a home world, and a couple of them that were still floating around.
Yeah.
And so you could still play as that, and then you had the Red Scorpions and Cullen, the chocolate Carib. All right, Carib Cullen had 3 versions of him that you could play, and there was Sergeant Cullen, Captain Cullen as a chapter master, and then Cullen Arisen, where he's an inside a Leviathan Dreadnought. And all 3 options were viable.
Okay. But you obviously could only take one.
But now they've moved the narrative on. You could and because of how Games Workshop standardized the game in terms of new people coming into it, you have to have an established now.
Yeah.
And then Legends is like things that you could play from the past as people discover them. Legends realistically is for old farts like us that don't like change.
I don't like change.
Because if you join the game now, you don't give a fuck about who's alive or dead.
No, unless there is a world where you join the lore now, you dive into the narrative, you fucking read some of these books and go, where is this guy? Where is Yarrick? Where is Caiaphas Cain? Where, you know, I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? I'm going to jump into chat quickly because I want to get to a super chat so Joe can talk about it because I have to do a Joe today and go to the bathroom early. I was wildly dehydrated yesterday, so I drank far too much water this morning, and now I'm struggling. Mr. Sven Holier, thank you for the one gifted. Warboss Bonnie sent $5 and says, Gaz would be so happy right now. Someone get him on the horn. Orc players. Thank you, Sprugly, for 5 gifted membership.
Orc players are generally mentally unstable in my experience.
Yeah,
but they really fucking love orcs. I've noticed. Like, it's rare to find a non-committal orc player.
Yeah,
that's just true. Like, I play them for the rules.
Yeah,
because no one plays orcs for the rules. Not currently, anyway.
No,
the rules are terrible, but they just really love orcs.
Yeah,
and there's like specific aspects. Like I like orcs. I like the aesthetic of orcs, especially the squig pigs, but. Like, I don't currently... I want to do them, but they also cost a fucking... There's a really expensive army to do as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Sprogly, for 5 gifted memberships. Do you want to give the man a hope?
I hope that you... get the brand new Porsche Carrera that Leon's driving in Resident Evil.
Love it.
It's really nice.
And then we'll say thank you to Roland Bain, and I'll leave you with this one just so I nip to the bathroom because I know you can talk about this. He says, bring back Strachan and Harker for catechins. You've got theories on catechins, haven't you?
I do.
Do you want to start talking about it? I'm going to run to the bathroom because I've water I drank.
As we all know, we're going to Armageddon, right? Armageddon is abundant in many things. In orcs, factories, sand, guardsmen, jungles. They've got a lot of jungles, and narratively there is a large contingent of catechans on Armageddon. I am about 99% sure the next guard regiment to get released is going to be catechans because of Armageddon. And I think it'll be like mixed sex squads because the narrative, because there's been a lot of Catachan books released and they're less male dominated now, which is great. Muscle Mummies for life. We love them. And I think we're going to get a Kill Team box set based around Armageddon. And it will be Catachans versus some version of orcs. And then obviously that will bring like the Krieg treatment, command squads, heavy weapon teams, the infantry, and then characters, and you'll get Harken and Strachan. Luckily, we won't get Steel Legion because they are too close to Krieg. Krieg are basically the same as them. They're just like, so the difference between Steel Legion and Krieg: Steel Legion have short coats, Krieg have long coats. Steel Legion have long boots, Krieg have short boots. So you're not going to get both because they're basically the same. Whereas Catachans are very, very different. Also, I would imagine the law would be that most Steel Legion infantry are dead and the planet struggles to replenish them. Because unlike Cadia, which was a war world, which was designed to the creation of like the perfect infantryman soldier, Armageddon is basically a factory planet.
I categorically don't think we'll see Steel Legion, but I wouldn't put it past them.
I think we'll get them eventually.
I just wouldn't put it past them to do Steel Legion next, despite the fact they're so similar to.
I think if Steel Legion were coming, I think we would have seen them in the Armageddon trailer.
Okay.
Whereas they've not put anything in there, and I think it's going to be Catachans.
I think it'll be
Catachans will be the next one because I think they're one of the most popular guard regiments.
I'm going to be bold and brave here. I've never really cared for Catachans.
Catachans are the most 80s
They
action
are
megastar.
They are, and the colonel, the Catachan colonel, is the one that the special edition one that we released. That I've got some of downstairs. I want to build and paint him alone, and I wonder if that would then be like, oh, actually, this is really nice.
I've got him.
I think one of the reasons why I think one of the reasons I'm not bothered about Catachans is because the current model range is so fucking derpy. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't look right. It looks.
If Catachans got released, I would just drop everything immediately and just do Catachan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm going to do that. Probably paint 2 infantrymen and get bored. So, you know, battle suits all the way for me right now.
I'm excited to do my Krieg. I started building the Hierophant last night.
I saw that, yeah. You having fun with that?
Yeah. I'm making some sprue glue at the moment because that thing was designed by someone that hates
everything.
Modelers. Because, like, the legs are a classic forged resin, and some of the spines are, and the spikes are resin, but the main body is like this soft, foamy resin. It's almost like a modeler's clay. It's super weird. And you have to glue all the spines on, but basically you just get like loads of different size spines on these little boards. But when they've glued them onto the boards to then have them molded, there's no like gap. It's just spike. So when you try and cut them off, then it goes into all the holes are filled with like flash. It's a fucking nightmare to build.
I intend to do some hobbying after the show, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I want to carry on building my
Well, I'm building Drakari at the moment.
I did pick up some stuff at the weekend. I did buy some stuff. I did buy a Ghost Keel.
Yeah.
And Commander. And some stealth suits.
That's cool.
So I'm into suits at the moment.
Yeah.
And I want to go down and look at the AK rack we've got downstairs with you and look at what you think would be best for me to do basing with. I've got an idea, but I've never been very good at basing.
Just embrace the snow. Everyone is at the moment. Tom's doing snow bases.
I'm not against the snow because I'm going to do Farsight Enclave's colour scheme. So black undersuit, red armour. So the white would pop off quite nice against that. It would look really good. But I want to. I basically don't get to do any modelling at home at the moment, so everything's got to be done here. So I've not even got my airbrush. So I'm going to probably.
Bring the airbrush, yeah.
I might do, but I'm probably going to base it, rattle can it, matte black army paint because always that.
I was considering for the Krieg being a rattle can army as the base instead of airbrushing it.
Yeah, well, if I rattle can it with army paint and matte black here, I can do it here.
Yeah,
you know, and then I can carry on. There's another. I think there's a Raven black or something down there as well that they do, which is like almost like a Corvus black. And I think if I can just do that and then start painting the armor panels red, and red is my favourite colour to paint, and I can actually do the hobbying whilst I'm here on site, then that's my best possible chance at the moment. But yeah, so what was I saying?
Catachan.
Catachans. We were talking about Catachans. Do I think Catachans will return? I think Catachans will be the next big guard release. I'm with Joe on that one. Whether I think it'll be Armageddon or not, or this release for 11th, I don't know. But I do think it's the next big release. They spent too much time sculpting cool Catachan characters to not at some point release a fucking army of them.
So, like, I've heard some rumours come around. Obviously, there's one big rumour source on YouTube.
Mr. the Spam Rack.
Spam Rack. But there's also, like, other
Love you,
ones.
Sam.
And there's an announcement of a new tank coming.
Okay.
And the reference is Scout tank, right? Everyone's saying it's a Scout tank. The only Scout tank I know of is a Salamander Scout tank, which makes me moist in my loins.
I thought you would.
Because I just get loads of them and put them straight into Valhalla.
They're the ones that fucking Kane rides around.
That's what Kane drives around.
Yeah.
And there's two versions of the Salamander. There's the Scout version and the Command version. Command version's just got like a pintle mounted like stubber or flamer. It's got like a hole mounted heavy bolter. The Scout version's got like a whole heavy bolter, heavy flamer, and it's got whacking great auto cannon in the back.
Yeah.
And there's another tank, but they're not sure what it's going to be.
Yeah.
There's rumours it's like a half track, which would be like the cargo 8s, which is like the big transport trucks, or my hope, if they're staying around the Salamander variant, would be the Griffin.
Okay.
Which would be cool.
The Siege Mortar.
Yeah.
I missed that tank.
But now I'm like, if you could do that, you might as well have the Medusa as well.
Yeah, fair.
But I think, obviously, it's you've got the big gaming thing in a couple of weeks. Adepticon, where they say Adepticon every year is the announcement of the new edition of the game that year, which will be 40k. But we haven't got any news on a Kill Team box set at the moment. Because the last Kill Team box set that got announced has been released.
Yeah, fair.
Which was the Sisters and Warp Talons box set. So we'd have no knowledge on what the next Kill Team is going to be.
Yeah. I actually have no idea.
Yeah. There was a rumour floating around that it might be Mega Knobs. But what I want it to be is Catachans.
For Kill Team?
Kill Team. I want it to be it'll be a Catachan Kill Team.
Like they did with Krieg.
And then when the Guard Codex comes out, the rest of the Catachans
heavy weapons,
yeah.
etc. I mean, I'm into it. I like the idea.
And that also gives me time to basically get loads of the current Kill Teams of Catachans to just convert up an army, basically. And then I just get loads of Sentinels and some Basilisks and stuff.
I do love Guard.
And then obviously classic, because the Catachan Lehman Russ variant was the Exterminator, which had the cannons.
It was, yeah. Cool. Thank you, Roland, for the $20 anyway. I think we'll see them come back, and I think we'll see because they haven't died.
But also, I banged this drum at the start of the edition. For a lot of this edition, and I was like, Games Workshop needs to start hitting the nostalgia button. And I was saying before they announced this as Armageddon, that why haven't we gone to Armageddon yet? Mm-hmm. Games Workshop knows that the people that play this Warhammer are mid-20s to late 30s, early 40s, and we love things the way they were when we were young. Armageddon, where is it?
Roland Bain also gifted 10 memberships, Joe, which means we're currently on 33, chat. We're 17 away from 50 of the finest memberships. There's 250 people watching. If you all gift one right now, we'll get to 50 members. If everybody watching gifts a single membership, we'll get to 50 members. More importantly, there's a bunch of grey names in chat. If everyone gifts a single membership, the likelihood is we'll get most of those grey names as green names, and then they can come and hang out in Discord and see more spaces. But yeah, Roland gifted 10, Mr. the JoJo Beans.
I hope, Roland Bain, that they open a Greg's within 5-minute walking distance of your house.
That's
and
good.
Because you live local, you get like a special Greg's like
discount
card.
Love it. Maximus says, is 11th going to be good? I'm so worried. So I have no idea. We're unfortunately in a position now where we're no longer previewers because of my retail contract downstairs.
But if we were, we wouldn't be able to tell you anyway.
We wouldn't know, but I could be like, I've got an idea, but I have no idea. I think it will be.
I think it's going to be incredible.
And I think it will be based off my gut instinct. I think looking at what the team has done over the course of the last 3 years since they've developed from the original team that wrote 10th to the team that currently exists, the way they've done with what they've done with their rules, etc., etc., etc. I think it's going to be really good. And some of the stuff that I'm hearing, and it's all talk at the moment, and I don't have any kind of confirmation on this, but some of the stuff that I'm hearing would lead me to think that it's going to be a fucking great addition, and I'm really excited for it. There's a rumour, for example, that objective markers are going away completely. And I fucking hate objectives. Hate them. Go stand in the middle of the board here for a bit. Hate them. There's a rumour they're going. Which would be, after they've been selling their own objective markers at 87 quid a pop, it would be very Games Workshop to do that as well.
5 quid. But
Still, very GW to do that, wouldn't it?
What it does is they've not been selling many. If you notice, they've had event-only ones.
I don't know if that's true,
They
by
had
the way.
event-exclusive ones, and then they sold a couple really god-awful ones, but they didn't really... It's all been the second-hand market. So what this does is really hurts the second-hand market, which I think is funny. I was having a discussion...
as a man who's currently sold out of objective markers, I'll put it this way, I'm currently choosing not to restock them.
Well, I said one of the problems is, like, I love Age of Sigmar, but it's not hugely popular. I said one of the problems with the game is how battle tactics are chosen. But one of the things I don't like about Age of Sigmar is that, and a bit 40k, is that when you put down the objectives first and then you build the fixed terrain around it. And the problem is the in Age of Sigmar, all the objectives can't be near terrain, which doesn't make tactical sense in a war game because for some reason you're trying to hold open ground and not landmarks. It would make more sense if the objective was a ruined church or a windmill, or some trees, whatever. And 40k is the same in the sense that you have the fixed objectives in specific places because you have to have them in like away from each other, which makes sense because you don't want all the objectives clumped. But it's a circle. Like Games Workshop, like don't put stuff directly on top of it because it's hard to hold. But like, why can't you put a building on top of it? Why can't you put a plasma generator? Like there was a time when objectives had rules, where like it's an ammo dump, a shield generator, a defensive wall. Where when you were on it, you rolled on a random chart, and you would get a buff for holding that objective.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd explode, but
sometimes maybe good.
Yeah, sometimes maybe shit. But
I still think it'd be very GW to get rid of the objective markers that they haven't really ever leaned into and just release a pack of pre-made objective markers, because all I'm hearing is either they're going to become terrain features, so they're more 3D, more immersive, or I've even heard they're just going to scrap objectives altogether and it'll be things like hold 3 pieces of terrain in no man's land or hold a piece of terrain in your opponent's deployment zone. So you just get rid of objective markers, and that's that.
I think what Games Workshop needs to do is get better at selling terrain as a thing, because the problem.
What do you mean by better? Tell me what you mean by better.
They need to get better at selling terrain and more varied terrain.
Agree,
but also at the moment it's super limited. It's like a small pack of L's, and then it's got some weird U's in it. It's all kill team terrain.
Agree.
It's so expensive.
That's the other problem, right? That's the other big problem.
What they need to do is make terrain cheaper by making it thinner and lighter, because they make it really hard, which is quite wearing, which is really, really good. It's quite dense and it's covered in loads of stuff. But the more stuff you put on it, the more detail you put on it, you increase the design and the creation costs. Whereas if they made their terrain out of a lighter, thinner plastic, they could make it cheaper. And then, because one of the problems I had with Age of Sigmar, and I spoke to the rules team about it, what I find really weird although they have changed, literally they announced it a couple of weeks ago on Warcom, is that you have set terrain layouts for every mission, but you do not sell this terrain. So I said, when are you going to sell the terrain for us to use? Because at the moment you tell people to use terrain, but you don't sell it. So realistically, you're sending people to third parties. Why aren't you selling it yourself? And now they announced the other day that they are going to start releasing. They're going to start releasing terrain for Age of Sigmar. So they need to do the same for 40k. They've got fixed map layouts. They have fixed terrain layouts, part of the tournament pack, but they don't sell the terrain to put on it. And they use bases to represent where the terrain should go, but they don't sell those bases.
Bases are fucking horrible as well. Thank you, Prudus, for $20. He says, from the same Yarrick died post, also, they're often just wrong. Just ask Commissar Kane, who was falsely listed as killed in action so many times that the Minotaurium keeps him on the duty roster even after his burial. So when we were talking earlier about Yarrick being dead on the article, there was definitely hints that he wasn't.
But there's also because of how warp travel happens. So I just finished the Night Lords book. So they're talking about how when they get together, there's the main characters for them. The Siege of Terror was 200 years ago, but the book is set now. They have Chaos Space Marines who have been out of the warp and it was for them, it was 1,000 years ago. And they're literally meeting people now where for them the Siege of Terror is a week ago kind of thing. Because of how warp travel just works. There's a really great book called Baneblade? Shadow Sword? One of the two, where basically, I think it's Shadow Sword, where this kid who's trained to be a super heavy tank commander goes and joins his regiment, and he meets his tank commander, and his tank commander is a hero of his planet from 200 years ago. There's statues of him on their home planet, and he's revered as this great leader of men, and he's 30 because he's left, and just time has just massively passed on his home planet. And I think that's how Games Workshop do get away with it.
Yeah.
Even in the Ghost books, they disappeared into the warp for 50 years, and then just popped back out again. And they're like, "Oh, we thought you were dead." And they're like, "No, we just."
I got better.
Yeah, we were traveling. For us, it was literally 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that's how Games Workshop used the warp as a way of just explaining, "Oh, we thought he was dead."
I mean,
because he disappeared.
Again, with the exception of it was always like that because that's shit. They can kind of just do whatever they want, can't they? Let's be fair. It's the narrative world that they exist in, that they've created, kind of gives them free roam to do whatever they fucking want.
Yeah, it's like the Khan, for instance. They said, "Oh, he went into the webway and disappeared." When realistically, he could just come back. And he was like, I just popped away for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I went to the shop to get some
milk.
Some ciggies and some milk.
Yeah.
And what the fuck's happened, And they're like, "Oh, we thought you just fucked off to go and chase goth girls. But on Comora."
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do? Thank you, Stefan, for the $2. New Tusker Demon Killer to go with the Orc release. Has he ever had a model? Tusker Demon Killer?
See the massive one that carries the Baneblade turret?
Yeah, the one blessed by a corn.
I don't think he's ever had a model.
I don't think he's ever had a model.
I think...
When it says new Tusker Demon Killer model, you mean literally brand new model?
Yeah, just a new model. But who was I listening to? Art of War the other day.
Triad. He's so triad, chat.
Basically, talk about... There's a rumour that the gun, the big round gun, that's the front of the trike, and it's for some orc trike character guy, a war boss, blah 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 blah. So that he is potentially a rival for Gaz because he got the closest to Terra out of all of the war bosses, and the idea that there could be Armageddon could also be a feudal situation between Gaz and this other war boss, so you could have orc on orc action.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Max says, I actually want to see the D6 system removed. I think if they remove the D6 system, I'd quit 40k. If 40k comes away from being D6, I'm done.
I think it would ruin the game.
I agree.
And I don't think it will ever go away from the D6.
I agree.
And that's why there is no game that exists that uses another dice type that even gets close to comparing to the success of 40k. There are some big games like Infinity and stuff like that, but even Infinity is like a drop in the ocean compared to like Games Workshop and 40k.
I agree. Nick, thank you for the $5. He says, what if that character has a satisfying narrative ending? My favourite vampire count is Vlad Van Karstein, but he never made it to Sigmar, rightly so. I mean, I'm personally, I'd like to see more main characters in jeopardy in the 40k narrative.
Vlad's in Age of Sigmar.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
He literally is in charge of the Crimson Keep.
There you go, Nick.
Got a model.
You lied.
Sorry, he did. He died. You are right. He did die, and so did Nef. Like all the Mortarks died. So him and Nefertara died, and he was very, very sad. And he went a bit of a rampage in the end times. And then what happened was in Age of Sigmar, old Boner Lord, what's his name? King Boner Man.
Lord Cavalos?
No. As in big hat floating
Nagash?
Man. Nagash was like, oh, I need these guys. Just brought them back to life again. So yeah, sorry, Vlad is in. That's not Vlad in the Dragon. No, Vlad von Karstein has a model. He's part of a dual kit with Nefertara and... Oh, what's his name? He's in charge of the Boner Men. The Wizard Man.
Who's the Wizard Man?
He's in... No, I'm not talking about Vordry. Vordry is his own model, but Vlad has a kit.
D8 would open up the game much for the better. I don't think it would at
wouldn't.
all. It'd be fucking awful. And rolling dice and trying to look at results on the numbers that we roll in 40k would just be a shit experience. Trying to roll 20 D8s and then figure out what the results are would be fucking dreadful.
Well, is that Manfred von Karstein, is it?
Chat's schooling you today, Joe.
Well, there's Manfred. But Vlad is alive in Age of Sigmar.
Is he though?
He is.
I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
I thought, but it is a von Karstein. But Vlad is alive. He's literally talked about in the books. They literally talk about him in the Nefertara book.
You wouldn't have to roll 20 D8s, that's the point. How would you not have to roll 20 D8s? How are you going to do a block of 20 Berserkers attacks? One attack each is 20 D8s. Think it through, people. Honestly.
So the reason they won't go away from the D6, right, is that it's square, it's easy to produce, loads of people make it. Also, it's recognizable in every country on the planet.
Yeah.
Because if you go to a D8, D20, whatever system, you go to numbers, and some numbers aren't recognized in some places, whereas dots are easier to count.
Well, the other thing as well is
also
like,
a 6 and a 9. If you don't put the line under it, they're identical.
Yeah, but I mean, all D10s and above will have the line under them.
But what I'm saying is that like D6s are clean. Also, like
max squad size 10 done. Right. So let's take a minute and actually think about there with some fucking logic, right? Games Workshop aren't going to go, we're going to create a new system where you need less models, are they? That's just not going to fucking happen. Games Workshop aren't going to go, you know that 2,000 points that you had where you had 3 units of 20 Berserkers? We're scrapping that. You only need 600 points. You only need 7 Berserkers. It's not going to fucking happen because that means they sell you less kits. So they're still going to have units of 20 Berserkers. They're still going to have units of 20 Orcs. They're still going to have units of Breachers who fire 3 shots each. And they're not going to do that result on a single dice. It's just not going to happen. So Games Workshop are in the business of selling models. D6s mean you have more models shooting at once because it's easier to roll the dice, look at the results.
Yeah.
That's what's going to stay.
Also, Games Workshop don't do dice with numbers on them. They only do dots.
Well,
Because dots are faster and easier to read. The amount of times people have rolled dice that have got actual numbers on it and it takes longer
That's
to pick them up.
I think go to a D2 system. Toss a coin. Whoever wins the game.
Yeah.
Here for it. Fast tournaments then. Speed tournaments. Thank you so much, Adam Riley, for the $5. Really want a new Tiberius with rules and another named character or two. Tiberius? The Red Wake.
The Red Wake, yeah. I would like to see some of the Forge World characters that went away get re-released. Like, they have accepted that Red Scorpions exist because they put their logo, their shoulder pad in the Deathwatch kit. So maybe you might... And they did the Shark one as well for Carcharodons. So you never know. We're kind of going into this edition now. I think Games Workshop's finally realised that people like really cool named characters with upgrade kits and a cool unit to join them.
Agree.
They sell like crazy. So let's just do more of that.
Tiberius was a fucking cool model as well.
Yeah.
Because he was Forge World, wasn't
I
he?
want him. I want Moloch from the Minotaurs. Fucking love the Minotaurs. But also, like, I also had a Red Scorpions army, so I would not say no to Carib Cullen in a Leviathan Dreadnought coming out in plastic in 40k. That would be
I'm into
incredible. Because then you can go, cool, I'm now going to put a Leviathan Dreadnought in every army.
Yeah.
And then I could have a Dreadnought character in my army. That's cool.
Chat, we're 3 members away from 50, by the way. Thank you, Lord of Cinder, for the $5. Just reread it. Yarrick has a full obituary in the 9th edition Guard Codex. It's pretty certain he's dead. Warcom article says he may not be dead. But I could write an obituary about you now. Doesn't mean you're dead. I could write one. And this is where sometimes they're arguably clever with their narrative. I can write an obituary about Joe tomorrow. It doesn't mean he's dead. He'll be sat at home painting in his pants. But I can write one. I get it, right? And I have always said, I don't know if I do or don't think Yarrick is dead or not. I wasn't sure.
Maximus says he hates Death Star squads. I love them. I think Death Star squads are integral to the game being exciting. Right? Because a Death Star squad is cool. Super fucking cool. You're like, I've got Huron Blackheart with his squad of badass characters, and they've joined a squad of cool dudes who's like their elite bodyguard, right? And they're just ripping through the army, and I'm having a great time because the guy I like is running around with his friends, killing stuff, doing cool shit, right? If you remove that from the game, cool characters being cool dudes, right? It's just a weird squad-based dice game. What you do then, removing Death Star squads and removing cool elite characters from the game, you remove the flavor
I'm
from the game.
gonna say something maybe slightly controversial. I don't think Death Star squads exist.
No?
No, because I played Death Stars in 7th edition and previous, Joe.
Oh yeah,
And they were
much worse.
And they were nonsense. That was a Death Star, and they were nonsense, right? And I just where we're at now, they're not Death Stars. They're not. What you have at most normally is 2 characters upgrading a single unit, and on occasion you find that with a specific enhancement and a specific character, you have this slightly broken combination that normally within 3 to 6 months they'll fix anyway. And they'll make the points of the enhancement mean that it doesn't make sense, or they'll change the wording slightly so it's not quite so bonkers. And anyone who finds this Death Star, because it's not compared to previous editions, but anyone who finds this Death Star quickly finds that Games Workshop have corrected it. So I don't think Death Stars really exist at the moment, if I'm honest.
Also, do you like the Ultramarine humans having 3 wounds? Yes. Because Guard have humans with 3 wounds. The entire Guard Codex is not an army of 1 wound models.
No, it should be.
Well, no, because characters have got 3 to 4 wounds.
1 wound, Lord Marshal Dreer, more points.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stefan, for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Awful Gamer, for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Awful Gamer. I hope that you have actual bee's knees.
Strong. Dave B, thank you for the $2. He says, told you was alive. Did you? Did you, Dave? Rummer Clock, thank you for the 1 gifted. Lehman Russ says, for £2, is Discord fixed yet? Well, if you were at the start of the stream, you would have heard everything about it. So you're late. That's a fine.
Did you? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I sat here and talked about it. Well, I talked about you can give memberships and you give people access to Discord. Slight announcement. Discord's had some problems. It shit itself. I had to delete and reinstall the integration. I was sat here talking through that, Joe. You were right there.
Oh, it's boring.
Discord's mostly fixed, Lehman. There might be some issues. We're working through them. Gaz has done a ton of work to get it into a good space.
Because that's the same wounds as a custodian, but it's also the same wounds as a blade guard. It's also the same wounds as a sister of battle. Like
less wounds than the first version of Victrix.
Yeah, like
new custodians go on pre-order on Saturday, Jay.
It's very exciting. I'm not really bothered by him.
I went to the gym today with Tony, and I said to him, I'm thinking about not buying one.
So when you were cleaning each other in the shower?
Yeah, I was like, I'm thinking about not buying one. And he started talking about the box. And by the time he finished talking about the box, I was like, yeah, cool, I'm still buying one.
I don't want to do them because they're going to be fucking everywhere.
Because they're fucking stunning.
They look really cool. And I think I will, like, I've got so many other things to do. I just don't want to add to the pile. Although they are an army that you could literally, like, paint in 5 minutes.
Chat, we're still 3 members away from 50. Thank you, Daniel, for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Biggie Hugs, for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Jeffrey, for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Keith Rogers, for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Keith Rogers. I hope that tonight, when you go home, you have a beautiful steak dinner serenaded by Kenny Loggins.
Oh, I want a steak dinner. Thank you, Jack the Biscuit, for 5 gifted memberships.
Jack the Biscuit.
Jack the Biscuit.
I hope that you are given a infinite supply of Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Strong. What's your favourite flavour?
Tell me what's your flavour. Cookie dough.
Fish food for me. Big fan. I like cookie dough, though. Thank you, Whitey55, for the 1 gifted membership. We're on 48. Thank you, Armholio, for the $5. He says, I struggle with maths already. Don't make me have to game in sandals to count my toes. Strong. I'm a fan of that.
I just don't understand why people are so desperate for other dice.
Do you know what I'm going to do, right? When everyone goes, they should do this, they should change to D8, they should change to D12. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trust the multi-billion-pound corporation. I'm going to trust the company that's made the biggest dice rolling game pretty much on the planet.
Yeah.
They probably know what they're doing for the most part. I criticise them a lot, and often I have to take a step back and go, they're multi-millionaires,
also,
I'm not.
They have bought in versions of the game that run on D8s, D10s, D12s, D20s, right? And they always fail.
Yeah.
They're not popular. They did it with Apocalypse in 8th edition, and that failed, right? They have tried to do what the loonies ask, and they're like, let's go to D8s or D20s, and they go, let's try it out, and it just tanks so hard.
Monopoly is probably bigger. All right, I'll clarify. War game, then, that's
all right.
theirs.
Monopoly, also D6s, just saying. Right?
He said that afterwards as well.
Yeah. Like, D6s are just better, right? And if you want to play games with D8s, go play another game that uses D8s.
Yeah.
They exist. And they're still not as big as 40k.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go and play them.
You can.
Stop trying to change the game that everyone loves because you're like it would be slightly more efficient.
Also,
it wouldn't.
Right, here's another thing as well to think about at the same time. You'll probably know the answer to this. Toby definitely knows the answer to this. When Games Workshop shops are operating, what do the people that get reported to, what do they care about? What's the number that they give a fuck about?
Oh, how much money you made today?
Nope. They don't care. They care about how many starter sets you shift, how many new people you bring in. That's what Games Workshop care about, right? What is more accessible to 12-year-old Timmy? A D6 or a D12?
Oh, a dice. D6.
100%.
Yeah.
So you change, it becomes less accessible. So some people will go, we should have D8s, we should have D10s, we should have D12s. These are people that are experienced war gamers, they're adults, they may have played the game for years and years and years, and they have got the fundamentals down. They know the cores already, and they go, and this will give us more of an in-depth way of making numbers work so we can be more granular. And Games Workshop went harder for 12-year-old Timmy.
Yeah. Also, every time Games Workshop makes a large change in any of its systems, it is always met with outstanding backlash. Right? Like, look at when Old World went to Age of Sigmar. Right?
Oh my
God.
I got pissy.
Right?
I'll be honest.
It was the same fucking models. They went from square bases to round bases. Right? And the game system changed, but it was the same models, same dice, same measuring utensils, and there was a fucking fallout. You know, people went crazy. So they've bought Old World back, and Age of Sigmar are still paying the price now of people. But I feel like people are starting to forgive it. I was having a very in-depth discussion about how Age of Sigmar currently, its biggest problem is how battle tactics work. That's the only thing standing in the way of Age of Sigmar, I think, at the moment. Because you pick your battle tactics at the point you write your army list, not when you're at the table.
But I also know some people that have told me that they love that.
It's nice, but the problem is it's making the game stagnant. Because not every army in the game is capable of doing every battle tactic. I can't remember how battle tactics there are, but I'm going to pick 8, right? Each army could probably do 4. Okay-ish. It could do 2 really well. It could do 4 goodish, right? So at the point you buy your battle tome, you are automatically locking yourself in to 4 battle tactics, which you can only really do forever, right? So every game that you play from then on plays the same because it's essentially go stand in a place.
Yeah.
Right? So
this is a very AOS problem right now, isn't it, to be fair?
And that's the AOS problem. I think that's why it's not as... It was super popular when the new edition dropped because it was exciting and new and they kind of reinvented the wheel and it worked really, really well. But the problem is that they made it too balanced, too linear. And I think what they need to do is get rid of the battle tactics system and either go back to picking them in your command phase or a deck. I think it would be much more popular. But anyway.
Yeah, Age of Sigmar is a game, I don't mind it when I play it, but I just struggle to get excited by it.
I think it's really, really good. I just think the current iteration of battle tactics is hurting the game.
Yeah, okay. I think they've got a stunning model range and the game's just a bit meh. It's good, it's solid, it's easy. I just don't get excited by it. But you have to remember, right? Whenever they write a rule set for anything, whether that's 40k, AOS, fucking Heresy, Old World, you can please some of the people some of the time. You can't please all the people all the time. So you can create the best version of 40k in existence for 11th edition. You can widely regarded by everyone as the best version of 40k in existence, and someone somewhere will go, "This is shit. It was better before."
And also, there are 2 ways at the start of every game of 40k. You have to pick one of 2 things: fixed or random on your battle tactic, on your mission, your secondaries, right? Fixed or the deck. And there is a small group of people that select fixed, and the rest of the community just going random, please, because it's more exciting. It makes the game like it paces the game differently because you're constantly moving, constantly having to do stuff. If you play fixed, you're just playing a really static.
Kai says, watch Old World overtake AOS. That would be a proper poke in the eye for Games Workshop. If Old World continues to release new updated sculpts like they did for Grand Cathay, I can actually see that happening.
I don't think it will.
I can see it.
I don't think it will because Old World rules are so in-depth. And it's very... Like, I charge you, I kill one thing, you kill two things in response, I lose my entire unit because I failed a leadership test. Whereas Age of Sigmar is just like, let's just go and mash in the middle and punch stuff. And, like, it's... I don't think it will because I think Old World is less accessible. Also, Old World doesn't have an app. And when they FAQ'd the rules, it was like a 50-page document. So if you buy the rule book and one of the old army books, it's wrong.
Well, then I'm probably just referring to my own nostalgia, to be fair.
Nostalgia carries Old World more than we think.
Almost definitely. Well, it does for me anyway.
But that's why Games Workshop do it, because they want the old the dad bots to come back, you know?
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Hey K, for $2. He says... Liam, I'm going to bring my Chaos Knights army in on Saturday. Thanks, mate. He's lending us a Chaos Knights army for the channel, which is quite nicely painted because I've seen it before. Did you leave your hat here, your baseball cap here?
We have got Chaos Knights.
We haven't got a Chaos Knights fully painted army in here.
We've got enough to do a full army. We just don't have a great selection.
Do we? We've got like 3 knights painted, haven't you? I think big ones.
Got like 5 or 6 back there.
Okay. Whitey, thank you for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Evan, for the $5. He says, when Joe said cleaning each other, I thought one would lift the other like a barbell. Does Joe know that a clean is a lift? You've heard of a clean as a lift, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like a clean and jerk.
Yeah. Do that every night.
Yeah.
In
A
the
clean and
shower.
jerk, yeah.
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 Yeah, and sometimes in the morning, you know?
Yeah. Thank you, Monica 1, for the $2. Joe, what happened to Votan? What happened to Jotan?
What do you mean?
What happened to Votan?
In general?
Just you loving Votan.
I enjoyed the newness of Votan when I started playing them, and then I realised that they're super boring. It's because they're mostly an all-shooting army. Their combat units are really slow and boring. I like Berserks, but we don't have 60 of them
Yet.
So if we get more, I don't know if that's even enough for me to get playing them.
You're just so heavily focused on melee, aren't you, all the time?
I'll
tell you what, playing Tau last Thursday and having some guns instead of melee was actually really refreshingly fun for me.
I mean, like, there is an importance for having shooting units in your army. I get that. Like, my Black Templars have shooting units in it. But I also don't like the Votan army rule. I think it's really, like... It's unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like armies that you have to create a resource whilst playing the game, and then that resource you have to spend to use stratagems. Whereas there's just armies in the game where you just go, I just have stratagems, and they're better than what you have to do to jump through hoops. It's like, I love Drakari, I'm a really big fan of them, but I hate the fact that they took the entire index, gave you paint, changed how pain tokens work, which are a resource that you have to create by killing stuff, and then you use those resources to use abilities on your data sheets, which previously were just free. It just happened. Now you have to, and like the best resources created in any army are Sisters of Battle.
Yeah, they are now.
Sisters of Battle have the best resource because they made the Eldar version poo.
I mean,
Eldar
actually,
had the best version.
I think Eldar's agile maneuver tokens are still pretty good.
I think they're good, but they're not as good as the old version.
No,
right?
of course.
Because they were
but the old version was busted.
But then Sisters have a weird version of the old Tau one. I don't know why Sisters aren't doing better. I think it's just a bit overpointed at the moment.
Yeah, maybe. Evan, thank you for the 1 gifted. Tank, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
I hope, Tank, that you have the ability to walk through walls.
Nice. Like a tank. I get it. We're on 54 members, chat. We're 6 away from 60, which is insanely good. Thank you so much, you wonderful humans. Thank you, Arm Haley, for the $2. He says D6 works for little Timmy and squaddies as well. D6s might be a little bit too much for squaddies, to be fair. And then Sprugly, thank you for the $5. What if the orcs actually win Armageddon? Imperium driven away and becomes capital of Gaz's new empire. I'd like
that.
Like, I think it's cool. I think I'm someone who I really want major narrative changes. Like, the fall of Cadia was brilliant as far as I was concerned, because if you'd have said to me before the fall of Cadia, narratively, Games Workshop are going to blow up the planet Cadia, it won't exist anymore, I'd be like, fuck off. No, they wouldn't. Cadia is like their main guard regiment that they focus on. Cadia is fucking everywhere. All the kits are Cadians. There's no way they're blowing Cadia up. That won't happen. And they did it, and I went, oh fuck. And I love those kinds of narrative changes. I like watching TV shows where 4 fucking series in, the main character gets killed. You're like, fuck, what happened there? And someone else takes the mantle of main character on. I like that stuff. I like that jeopardy and risk. I think when there's no, I can't, right, for the most part, this will upset Joe, I can't stand superhero films. Because I'm like, cool, the superhero's going to win. I know that at the start. Great. There's no jeopardy there. There's no risk. I'm like, ugh, cool. Superman's here, is he? Good. Guess he's going to win. And he does, because he's Superman. And I don't like that. I like the risk of, like, I fucking glued to like the first 5 or 6 seasons of The Walking Dead when that first came out. Because you didn't know who the fuck was going to get bitten and then end up dead.
Yeah, but you know that the goodies are going to win.
I think to start with in that series, I didn't know that. I felt like I did. And as it went on, because it went on and on and on and on, you get to the point where like, they're all going to be okay.
Yeah. I think the problem is, my biggest issue with stuff like that is that they give you a really cool character that you like, and then they kill them, and then they're replaced by really boring people.
Well, someone said
really
in chat, Dr. Funricky says Game of Thrones is the best. Game of Thrones did a good job, and there was moments like at the Red Wedding where I'm like, "What the fuck
but
just
happened?"
happened?
The cast was big enough that there were other good characters.
Yeah, so they did it really well. 100%, I agree with you.
But like I've watched that. Like, have you watched the new Red Dawn?
No,
I say new. It came out like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? Chris Hemsworth is the lead character, right? And it's basically the Koreans invade America, right? It's a remake of an old one where the Russians invade America. Chris Hemsworth is the lead character. He's very, very exciting. But spoiler alert, he gets killed halfway through the film, which is obviously a big shocker. And he's literally just walking, bang, drops dead out of nowhere. And you're like, oh. And then his brother replaces him for the rest of the film. And his brother is acted by a plank of human wood. Mm-hmm. And the film is just immediately bad for the rest of it. Because I'm like, I hate him. He's really annoying. And they do it in TV series a lot where I'm like, oh. Like, I think The Walking Dead would have been better if they killed off Rick and kept Shane.
I liked Shane.
Shane was a great character, right? Laurie was the person that ruined The Walking Dead. If she died right at the start, Shane and what's his name? Rick would have like just ruled the world.
Yeah,
bros together.
Yeah, but there were still moments. Like I think you're right, because Rick was and Carl became the main characters, right? But there was moments like I'll never forget the cliffhanger when they introduced Negan for the first time, and he swings Lucille, and you have no idea who he's battered. You have no idea. And that was testament to what they did in that series, because when he swung that fucking bat, the fucking internet went, who? Who is it? Like, we don't want any of them to die. Who is it? And then when you find out it's Glenn, everyone gets really fucking upset.
I'm sorry, but Glenn was like a hard mid all the way through. I could not. I was really. I could not care less that Glenn died. I thought he was a really boring character. But I was really upset when they killed. Oh, what was his name? The ginger guy from Band of Brothers.
Oh, Abram.
Yeah, because they were really like he kind of came in late, and he was a really great character, and they were really flushing him out to be this really good character, and then they killed him, and I was like, oh.
But
So
my point about the whole Glenn thing though was the fact that when he swung that bat, no one knew who he'd fucking battered.
Yeah.
And I think that was a testament to how every character in that show, for a period of time at least, was at risk. And I that's the kind of narrative that excites me, and that's the kind of narrative that I'd like to see in 40k, because they're not superheroes necessarily. I'd like to see orcs win Armageddon. I'd like to see characters like Yarrick actually die.
I'd like to see is that Armageddon draws more Tyranids.
It's like you're a
Tyranids existed.
You're a Chaos fan, Joe, right? So Black Crusades. How good would it be if once Abaddon was actually quite successful?
Well, he destroyed Terra. He destroyed Cadia, didn't he?
Yeah,
He
but
inserted a Blackstone fortress into it.
okay, but it was still considered.
But the problem was that
he got to Calgar.
The problem
and he just teleported away.
Right.
What if that Black Crusade he'd got to Calgar and then he fucking kills him?
When did we last win the World Cup?
England,
Yeah.
1966.
Right. So
For football
Cadia
or rugby?
for football, right?
Yeah, 1966.
So Cadia was Abaddon's 66 World Cup, right? And he's done nothing since, right? He has been semi-final at best, right? Since he destroyed Cadia, and that's my problem. Like they literally split the galaxy in two, and his reward was the most underwhelming stat profile ever.
Yeah.
And like
They're not perfect, are they?
in 9th edition, it was fucking incredible. I dined incredibly well for that 9th edition Abaddon. And then 10th edition, they were like, no, back in your box.
Yeah. Which means 11th edition is probably good again.
I fucking hope so.
Yarl Tom, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Yarl Tom. I hope that you get to invent a new McVitie's biscuit.
Strong. And you get 50% of the profits?
Yeah, you want to.
Okay. Thank you, Yarl Tom, for the 5 gifted. We're on 59. If someone gives 10, Joe, we're on that magical number that you love so much.
I think that I don't want to. I hope he gets stomped. I don't understand why people hate Abaddon, because he's a really good character. Just Games Workshop just massively mishandle him.
Joe loves Abaddon.
Abaddon is my favourite character in 40k.
I don't know if I have a favourite character in 40k.
Should be legitimately terrifying on the tabletop. He should. I would have no issues if Abaddon was 800 points, but he was just like I feel like he should be like Catan level.
Reasonable.
He is the War Master of all chaos. Like the chaos, like the Legion Primarchs, like follow him. Reluctantly, they don't want to, but they're like, well, he's holding all the cards. We kind of have to do what he wants to do because he has the biggest legion. He is being gifted by all 4 chaos gods all the time because they're all vying for his stuff. He even took their mark. He reluctantly took their mark. He was like, I've got all 4 of you. Like, he should be horrifically terrifying on the tabletop. But he is just getting one pumped by 100-point characters. Makes me sick.
But you said it yourself, right? Previous editions, you dined well, and he was
did really well, and
he was one pumping everything he fucking looked at. He was going to go in and go, "You're dead, giant."
But I think you should have that, right? Necrons could put 5 of the fucking things on the table, right?
Yeah. Excuse me, chat. Yeah, they're Star Gods, they can. Yeah. SciSJ, thank you for the 1 gifted. Yarl Tom, thank you. Oh, did we do Yarl Tom? We did Yarl Tom, didn't we? Thank you for 5 gifted.
But
We're on 60, chat.
Yeah, I think I think Games Workshop can't kill off characters at the moment because characters are the reasons why people collect those specific armies. Like, it's easy to say, oh, I don't have an issue with them killing off Karandras. I don't care about Karandras.
I do.
But you do.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, I've sold an entire army because I can't play the character. Like I would fully just give up on Chaos if Abaddon went.
Would you?
Yeah, because I love him. I love what he represents. He has possibly, in my opinion, one of the best models ever made by Games Workshop.
His model is beautiful.
Like,
and the fact that so much of the detail is hidden because there's an exoskeleton that you build onto.
Yeah,
is stunning.
It's one of the best models. I think his base lets him down. I feel like his base could be. I gave him a better base, but I think like he deserves more. I feel like he's like been the most let down character in 40k.
Okay.
Like if you compare him to Logan Grimnar, I would just take Logan. If I could have Logan Grimnar's rules on Abaddon, he would be in every army.
Just play Space Wolves then.
I could just run
and
here.
proxy Abaddon.
I might just take. So we talked about this the other day. I was literally watching a battle report on Art of War. I'm really sorry, I can't remember his name, but he runs his Horus Heresy Imperial Fists as Chaos Space Marine. And I'm now thinking I might just run my Chaos Space Marines as Space Wolves.
Yeah.
Because Logan Grimnar is just flat better than Abaddon. Wolfguard Terminators are just flat better than Chaos Terminators. You know, Skull Head Takers are just better than Chosen. They just have a better selection of everything.
They do. I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, you people have been amazing. We are, however, at 3:00. I think Joe and I are kind of aligned. Yarrick coming back is cool as shit. I'm okay that Games Workshop can bring anyone back for a model. I would, however, prefer there to be more jeopardy in the lore.
I think we're going to get a lot of named characters back this year.
Interesting.
I
there
think
you go.
I think we're going to get Pedro. I think we're going to get Seth. I think we're going to get Badruck. I think it's just going to be just like banging out top hits from Games Workshop this edition.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Like I said, I'm okay with them bringing anyone back for a model or a datasheet purpose. I would like some people that die in the lore to stay dead in the lore because I think that's important to people's kind of faith in the narrative. That being said, I still do think, even with what people have said to us in Super Chats, I still do think genuinely they never strictly said he was dead. They said there was an obituary.
Well,
they said the Bell of Lost Souls is told. They never said, Yarrick has been killed, I saw it. They didn't say that.
But don't forget that Captain Tycho died in the Second War of Armageddon in 5th edition. He had a model up until 8th edition.
Ali Donald Monroe says, just wish Yarrick wasn't just an upscale version of the old one. I think that's
not a problem.
I think the sculpt is fucking gorgeous.
I don't have an issue with Games Workshop taking an old sculpt and just making it bigger and better and keeping it same aesthetically. And it looks incredible, right? Case in point, you look at the new Astaroth, brilliant.
Oh
you look
my
at
God,
the
it's
new
gorgeous.
Sanguinor, brilliant, right? But then they re-sculpted the Martys from its old version into a new version, and it's a bit Marmite.
I love it.
I think it's a great model. It's great sculpt. I think his pose is a bit naff.
Yeah, fair.
Because of he's an entire army of jumping character. He's 2 feet on the floor, and he joins a unit of jumping people. I think it creates a weird look. However, re-sculpting a model and making it different sometimes doesn't work out well.
No.
Look at Cotiers.
Does it, Cotiers? Exactly.
You know,
What happens when you let the intern design one?
Yeah. Cotiers is a bad re-sculpt. So just sticking with what it was and making it a bit bigger, not a problem.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, of course you are. I think he's beautiful. I really like what they've done with him, but I do get it. I just think he's a much better version of the old model, and I liked the old model, so then I like the new one. But I understand why some people do want loads and loads of change, but sometimes change isn't better. It feels a bit safe. Yeah, fair. It does. But I still think I'm a fan of hat tips to old models. Like when New Eldrad came out, it was definitely a hat tip to the old one. I think it's beautiful.
Right. At the same time, he's had the same orc claw for years, right? So the claw's not going to change because it's Gaz's claw, right? He's still just a human being in a black trench coat with a peaked cap.
Yeah, fair.
Like, and a stormbuster. So like his equipment's not changing and his clothes aren't changing and it's just a trench coat. So there's only so much you can do with just because the claw's going to stay on the same. All you could do is just change your position of the arms, really.
Yeah. I'm a fan of it though.
I think he looks.
But sick. I get the complaint. I understand the complaint. I think he looks amazing. So
now I need to do Beyblade.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, you people are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on the Liam and Joe Show. There is a live game of Warhammer 40k tonight. Is Tom in tonight? Is you and Tom playing? Is that right? I haven't looked at the schedule. I think it's you.
I think it is.
You both put lists in, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm running Iron Hands versus Tom running World Eaters.
I think that's what you put in the chat. So that's tonight's live game of 40k at 7:30. I'll be on the deck producing for you beautiful human beings. Tomorrow at 7:30 there'll be no show because Saints are at home, so I'm going to football.
Oh.
Thursday we're back with another Liam Joe show at 13:30. We'll be at the table building some more models, and then in the evening there'll be another live game of Warhammer 40k. And then Friday we've got After Dark at 7:30, and the giveaway cube is going to be ready. We've just got to finish putting the cupboard doors on it, and then the giveaway cube will be ready. So you can look forward to that on Friday as well. That then rounds out the week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content. If you have, please make sure you smash that like button before you disappear from the show. Thank you for all your input. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the gifted memberships. We ended on 60. It's really super helpful to us. It's very important to us. And the super chats are also helpful. Gives us stuff to talk about. Gives us tangents to go off on. Lets Joe have a bit of a rant as well, which he likes. All right, you're all amazing human beings. Hopefully we'll see you tonight at 7:30 for that live game of Warhammer 40k. If not, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have one over time.